Hello, future chemists. Welcome to a fascinating journey into the world of elements. Today, we are diving deep into the classification of elements and periodicity in properties, focusing specifically on the long form of the periodic table. We'll start with the basics, then gradually unravel its complexities, moving through easy, medium, hard, and hardest levels. Get ready to explore how this iconic chart organizes our universe and predicts the very nature of matter. Let's begin our exploration with the fundamentals of the long form of the periodic table. It's simpler than you might think. The long form of the periodic table is the modern arrangement of elements based on the modern periodic law. This law states that the properties of elements are periodic functions of their atomic numbers. Instead of atomic mass, elements are arranged in increasing order of their atomic numbers, a concept pioneered by Henry Moseley. This systematic organization helps us understand and predict the chemical behavior of all known elements. The periodic table is structured into horizontal rows called periods and vertical columns known as groups. There are 7 periods, each representing the principal quantum number of the outermost electron shell. Elements in a period have the same number of electron shells. On the other hand, there are 18 groups. Elements within the same group generally share similar valence electron configurations, leading to similar chemical properties. Elements are also classified into S, P, D, and F blocks based on which orbital the last electron enters. Now, let's test your understanding of these basic concepts. Take a moment to pause the video and answer these 3 easy questions. What is the fundamental basis for the arrangement of elements in the long form of the periodic table? How many periods and groups are there? And finally, which block do elements with valence electrons in the p orbital belong to? Good luck! Ready to deepen your knowledge? Let's move to the medium level, where we'll uncover the historical journey and detailed structure of the periodic table. The modern periodic table is a culmination of various attempts to classify elements. From Dobrynin's triads and Newland's law of octaves, the significant breakthrough came with Mendeleev, who based his table on atomic mass, predicting new elements. However, it was Henry Moseley's work in 1913, studying X-ray spectra, that established atomic number as the true fundamental property. This led to the modern periodic law, resolving anomalies and providing a more accurate framework for element classification. Let's dive into the detailed structure. The 7 periods in the table correspond to the principal quantum number, n, of the outermost electron shell. For instance, elements in period 3 have their valence electrons in the 3rd shell. The 18 groups, or columns, are crucial because elements within the same group possess similar valence electron configurations, leading to similar chemical properties. For example, all group 1 elements, the alkali metals, have 1 valence electron and are highly reactive. Elements are further categorized into 4 blocks, S, P, D, and F, based on where the last electron enters. The S block includes highly reactive metals like alkali and alkaline earth metals. The P block contains a diverse mix of metals, nonmetals, and metalloids, exhibiting varied properties. The D block elements are transition metals, known for their variable oxidation states and colored compounds. Finally, the F block, comprising lanthanides and actinides, are placed separately to maintain the table's structural integrity, representing inner transition elements. Now, let's challenge your understanding with 5 medium-level questions. Who proposed the modern periodic law and its basis? Why do elements in the same group have similar properties? How do periods and groups differ in electron configuration changes? What are 2 distinguishing characteristics of D-block elements? And finally, why are lanthanides and actinides placed separately? Pause the video, think critically, and then continue. Excellent work so far. Now, let's step up to the hard level, where we'll analyze the periodic table's advantages and its predictive power. The long form of the periodic table offers significant advantages over Mendeleev's earlier version. By using atomic number as the basis, it seamlessly resolved the problem of anomalous pairs where elements were out of order by atomic mass. It also perfectly accommodates isotopes, which share the same atomic number, and easily integrated newly discovered noble gases without disrupting the existing arrangement. Furthermore, the separate placement of lanthanides and actinides maintains the table's clarity, and it provides a clearer distinction between metals and nonmetals, all underpinned by a strong theoretical basis of electronic configuration. The periodic table's power lies in its direct link to electronic configuration, which is the root cause of periodicity. Elements in the same group have similar valence electron configurations, leading to recurring patterns in properties. For instance, across a period, as electrons are added to the same shell and nuclear charge increases, atomic size decreases, while ionization enthalpy and electronegativity generally increase. Conversely, moving down a group, new electron shells are added, increasing atomic size and decreasing ionization enthalpy, showcasing predictable trends. Understanding an element's position in the periodic table allows us to predict its properties with remarkable accuracy. For example, atomic radii decrease across a period and increase down a group. Ionization enthalpy follows the opposite trend. Electron gain enthalpy generally increases across a period. Metallic character decreases across a period and increases down a group. Oxidation states vary predictably, with S-block elements having fixed states and D-block elements showing high variability. Even the acidic or basic nature of oxides can be predicted. Metallic oxides are basic, and non-metallic oxides are acidic, with acidity increasing across a period. Time for some hard-level practice. Pause the video and tackle these 7 questions. Explain how the long form resolved the isotope problem. Justify why periodicity is due to electronic configurations. Predict the atomic radius trend for the third period. Compare metallic character in group 13 and 17. Identify the block, period, and group for an element with AR 3D54S1 configuration. Why do D-block elements have variable oxidation states? And finally, describe the change in acidic nature of oxides across a period. Good luck! Alright, champions. This is where we push the boundaries of your understanding. Welcome to the hardest level, designed to prepare you for the toughest competitive exams like GMAT. The periodic table's structure is deeply rooted in quantum mechanics. The 4 quantum numbers, principal, azimuthal, magnetic, and spin, uniquely describe each electron. Principles like Aufbau, Pauli's exclusion, and Hund's rule dictate how orbitals are filled, directly mapping to the periodic table's layout. The period number corresponds to the principal quantum number of the valence shell, while the block indicates the type of orbital being filled. The group number, derived from valence electrons and block, precisely positions each element, making the periodic table a direct manifestation of quantum theory. Beyond ideal filling, some elements show anomalous electronic configurations, like chromium and copper, due to the enhanced stability of half-filled or fully filled d orbitals. These anomalies significantly impact their chemical behavior. For heavy elements, relativistic effects become crucial, where inner electrons move so fast that their mass increases, causing s and p orbitals to contract. This affects properties like gold's unique color. Another key concept is lanthanide contraction, where poor shielding by 4f electrons leads to smaller than expected atomic radii for subsequent elements, making 4d and 5d elements in the same group remarkably similar. Predicting oxidation states and reactivity requires a nuanced approach. While S-block elements have fixed states, P-block elements, especially heavier ones, exhibit the inert pair effect, where ns2 electrons are reluctant to participate in bonding, leading to stable oxidation states to less than the group number. D-block elements, however, show highly variable oxidation states due to the involvement of both N1, D and Ns electrons. We also observe diagonal relationships, where elements like lithium and magnesium show similar properties due to comparable charge-to-radius ratios. Furthermore, some elements exhibit amphoteric behavior, forming oxides that react with both acids and bases, highlighting their intermediate metallic and non-metallic characteristics. The periodic table is not just a static chart, it's a dynamic tool driving modern science and engineering. In materials science, it guides the design of new semiconductors and alloys. In catalysis, understanding transition metal properties leads to more efficient industrial processes. Environmental chemists use periodic trends to develop remediation strategies for pollutants. In drug discovery, elements like lithium and platinum are critical, with their properties informing new therapeutic agents. Even in nuclear chemistry, the table helps predict the stability and properties of newly synthesized superheavy elements, pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Alright, let's tackle the first 5 hardest questions. Pause the video and try to explain how quantum principles dictate the periodic table's structure. Discuss anomalous configurations of chromium and copper and their impact. Elaborate on lanthanide contraction and its consequences. Predict common oxidation states for group 15, considering the inert pair effect. And finally, describe the diagonal relationship between lithium and magnesium. These questions demand deep analytical thinking. Take your time. Moving on to the next 5 challenging questions. If a new element X has atomic number 120, predict its block, period, group, and oxidation state. Discuss relativistic effects on heavy elements like gold. Explain how periodic trends are crucial for designing new semiconductor materials. Why are zinc and cadmium not considered typical transition elements despite being D-block? And critically analyze any limitations of the long form, particularly for hydrogen and F-block elements. These questions will truly test your comprehensive understanding. You've got this. You've successfully navigated the complex world of the long form of the periodic table, from its basic structure to its deepest quantum mechanical underpinnings and real-world applications. I hope this journey has been insightful and has ignited your curiosity for chemistry. For more such comprehensive educational content and to master your GMAIN preparation, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for continuous learning. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep excelling. See you in the next session.